Your self-worth should be completely dependent upon the fact that you exist. I mean, idealistically, as difficult as that may seem to accomplish or achieve, I think the fact that we're alive alone is really beautiful and wondrous. And I think that if we can connect to that, then that beautiful and wondrous truth will reflect into our reality, into our appearance, into our energy, into our life, into our situations, into the unfolding of reality. You know, life is really all about connecting to certain energies that can help you feel free, as though you're not trapped within this horrible state of anxiety and angst that is leaving you, whether it's little or a lot, where it's leaving you feeling hopeless and powerless because you feel as though you need to accomplish something or be someone in order to feel better and in order to feel okay. So what ends up happening is, because we have this continual desire based off of the superficiality of what it is we think we desire based on what the world's told us to desire, it causes this illusion and this fakeness within ourselves, and we end up chasing all these things and believing all of these things in these energies which are not comfortable. If you could really pay attention and feel them, like vindictive, self-judgmental and judgmental energies of others, it is not fun. It's if you're highly intuitive, you'd be able to feel that the energy doesn't feel good. And ultimately what I've learned is that everything comes down to energy. So, and emotions are energy in motion. So at the end of the day, what we're really doing are juggling energies, and sometimes those energies / emotions get the better of us because we've been pre-programmed to behave and correspond a certain way to certain events and environments and people and situations within our life, which mostly centers around our self-imposed judgment of ourselves and our judgment of ourselves through the eyes of others. It's all about judgment. So you're continually analyzing what you look like, what people think you look like, so forth and so on. This creates like multiple different narratives within your mind, which are more negative than positively affirming. And unfortunately, sometimes you can actually believe those narratives because of the energies they come with and how intense they felt. Just because the energy is intense doesn't mean there's truth to what it is you're feeling or what it is you're saying. You know, this is an important thing when it comes to being able to read energy, is like, if it feels like it's freaking drastic, it's mostly, if it feels like it's drastic, it's probably mostly your fear, to be totally honest with you. And when we're in such a fear state, we cannot really feel the truth of the situation, the truth of the energies that are presenting themselves to us. It sort of blocks us in a certain bandwidth, and it actually prevents us from seeing the truth. And it actually sometimes leads us towards creating our own truths because of this fear that plays through our mind in like a loop and a repetition. It's funny how our greatest fears actually do that. They play within our mind in a loop, and every now and again they'll pop up, come back up again, or whatever the case may be. So the biggest thing is eliminating these fears by realizing their energies. And once you can treat them as energies, you can transmute them as energies, and you can move to a better feeling, a better state. Because ultimately this is what it all comes down to: managing your energy, managing your emotions, managing your mind, managing your feelings. And if you can manage your feelings, then you'll feel a lot more light and a lot more prepared to believe a lot more different stuff that you wouldn't be generally prepared to believe. Because when our emotions are generally in fear states and anxiety states, that comes with a certain amount of possibility and potentiality which we imagine through our mind. So the fear blocks us down from imagining further possibilities and potentialities, which could be completely amazing, completely delightful. And because of that, we block ourselves off from those energies that come with it, and then those realities that come along with those energies. So it really does come down to being able to eliminate your fear and the many fears in which it is that we have, because we do have these layers of fear within us. And the only way to program those fears differently is to acknowledge them, to become aware of them, and to choose to tell yourself what it is you would prefer to believe instead, as opposed to some limiting belief that closes your mind down on the many and potentially unlimited possibilities that reality has to offer. But if we're continually in this fear state, we're in a limitation mindset, we're in a scarcity mindset, where we're just imagining that stuff doesn't happen the way it is we would like it to. But that's just a mindset that comes with fear, that comes with beliefs and being totally firm on a potentially pessimistic viewpoint of reality that is ultimately putting blinders on your own eyes and preventing you from experiencing multiple new realities beyond fear within inside of yourself and outside of yourself. If you like this video, I've got a private blog on Patreon. You can join for as little as $1. And I speak about this stuff all the time. It really helps. It really works. Because it helps you actually become better in terms of eliminating all these fucking sticky fears that are clutching onto you, that have really nothing to do with you. They're just fears that are self-imposed upon you by society at large. And because they feel so real, and that fear, we get carried away in believing them. And it causes us to fucking potentially live in misery in your own mind, whether you're aware of it or not. There's a certain level of misery it is that people can entertain by entertaining pessimistic outlooks and attitudes within the back of their mind, subconsciously or consciously. So, I believe in being hopelessly optimistic and believing in that completely, because it comes with higher energies. And those higher energies come with higher consciousness possibilities within regards to what it is then you will be prepared to imagine as a possibility to happen to you. Something delightful as opposed to something in which it is that you really do not prefer to experience. And then therefore the energies change. So when you can change the energy, then you change your vibe within regards to any issue or thing within your mind. And by changing your beliefs, you're changing your energy, you're changing the vibe. That's what it is you're doing. And that's how we move through reality without having to emotionally suffer all the time in a underlying undercurrent of anxiety or angst or so forth and so on. And everything I'm telling you, I told to myself. As I continue to train my mind and continually keep programming my thoughts. Anyway, thank you very much. See you soon.